2025, and freeride skiing has undergone a momentous growth spurt. What was once a niche discipline of skiing has now risen to the highest echelon of public recognition, garnering mainstream media attention and blowing the minds of the masses. It's no secret that freeride competition is a controversial topic for many skiers. This is a highly subjective sport. The what, where, and how of freeride is completely up to the skier, and how you interpret the terrain might be totally different from someone else. I wouldn't wish judging an event like this on my worst enemy. And still, at least to me, freeride competition is the coolest thing ever. It's just the ultimate arena to do battle. How does it get any cooler than stepping into the start gate on top of a giant mountain with completely unregulated, uncontrolled terrain, and then mustering up the courage to chuck insane tricks off the biggest cliffs you can find? But judging isn't freeride's only problem. These competitions are extremely exclusive, and that can be a good thing for sorting out the best of the best, but with the rigorous judging around the World Tour Qualifiers, sometimes the best skiers don't even make the cut, and the judges favor riders that seek perfection over progression. Then there are competitions like Kings and Queens or Natural Selection, but those are invite only, and you basically have to be a legend already just to get in. The competitive landscape of freeride needs a refresh. And that refresh is called the Silver Belt. Imagine a competition where up-and-comers can go toe-to-toe with freeride icons like Ross Tester, Jess Hodder, and Xander Goldman, where progression is so encouraged that the athletes literally get to build jumps on top of cliffs so they can go even bigger, where the judges are, you know what, let's actually stop imagining right here. I got the call from Xander Goldman, the genius pro skier behind the Silver Belt competition, that I had to be there.
Hank, you gotta be here.
So I grabbed my filmer friend Finn, and we drove down to Sugar Bowl, California to see what the Silver Belt was all about.
And keep it going for yourselves. Thank you all so much for coming out here. All right, so getting into the nitty-gritty of how this is going to work. For our qualifier today, we have 110 athletes more or less, so huge. The way that qualifiers are structured, we broke everybody up into roughly 8-person heats. So
as one of the athletes that pre-qualified for finals, I got to take the day off, spin some cruiser laps, and watch the qualifier heats. Honestly, I was a little relieved to not have to compete until finals, but Xander recruited me to help build a jump on top of the course just before the show started, and I was eager to help out. So I dragged myself out of bed and caught the early chair up to the qualifiers venue.
Hey, Hank.
After shoveling through the last of an intense storm, the sun burst out just in time for athlete inspection. A nervous hour of risk assessment and frantic memorization later, it was time to watch the athletes throw down. Something that's well known to seasoned freeriders but virtually unknown to the public is that qualifier competitions often have more of a spectacle than the finals, with so many athletes hungry to earn their ticket to the top. The qualifier day did not disappoint. Some of the biggest lines and some of the biggest hits of the whole weekend went down, and only a tiny margin of the 160 athletes still remained for finals day. We headed back in for the night, not knowing that we were about to wake up to a big surprise. It was early, 4 or 5 in the morning maybe, when we got the call. The Sugar Bowl Ski Patrol had decided on a private, competitor-only open of the most rarely skied resort face in all of California, the Sugar Bowl Palisades. Everyone had been talking about rumors that it could happen, but I think we were all a little startled to actually have the green light. We rushed out of bed and frantically grabbed our gear to make the secret early chair load in time. I'll let the footage speak for itself, but safe to say, this was one of the most exciting experiences of the whole trip, and one of the highest consequence zones I've personally ever skied. My turn to drop came before I knew it, and I went in a little uncertain of myself. I wanted to do a flip off of a spine below me, but I misjudged the speed and barely made it over. I was honestly a little frustrated with myself, and made a split-second decision to throw a flip off of some Abbey debris for a little retribution on my run. Still, this was such an incredible learning experience, and it lit a fire under me to get on more big walls and spines in the future. Safely at the bottom, I got to enjoy some of the other athletes showing their experience and insane skill in this wild terrain.
So glad.
Build process is cool. It's nice to see like collaboration between a lot of different riders with a lot of different backgrounds. There are a lot of really big step downs, which is fun and scary. Yeah, I don't know, it's a really interesting venue to build on because there's so many like natural lips already that it just takes a little bit of enhancement. The terrain's kind of like already speaking for itself, so most of the riders are just trying to kind of elevate what there already is. Finals day. Tension rose with the sun on the anticipated morning. The conditions were favorable and the wind was dying down. This was it. There was no turning back, and athletes flowed into the cafe, ready to begin a day that would test their limits as skiers and competitors. The format for the competition was simple. 2 runs, best one counts. Each athlete had free choice of where to draw their line, what features to hit, and what tricks to throw. A unique and rising format, the competition would all be filmed, and then the competitors would watch each run that evening, all voting to determine a winner. Additionally, Freeskier magazine would hold a public vote for the people's choice in the coming weeks. With a democratic process, there was no way to infer what aspects of each person's run might be rewarded or scorned by each voter, and the strategy was crystal clear. Give it everything you've got. The athletes all loaded one final early chair for course inspection, a last opportunity to cruise through the course and make considerations and decisions about our lines. A nervous silence fell over the venue. One of my favorite skiers around, Olaf Halverson, was the first in the gate. Tension built until it seemed like the whole mountain would collapse with the weight of our excitement. And then, Just like that, it was time to begin.
2025 Silver Belt Finals, let's go!
Olaf Halverson dropping in 3, 2, 1. See ya!
Only a few hours later, with the thrill of the competition still fresh on everyone's minds, the competitors crowded into Village Hall to collectively watch, vote, and determine the winners of the Silver Belt Finals.
First place, Silver Belt champion for 2025. Local ambassador, give it up for Hannah.
I'd be lying if I said that the ski women's field didn't absolutely steal the show on finals day. Hannah Epstein took the win with one of the most incredible runs I've ever seen in any freeride competition, including the undisputed biggest double backflip of any competitor of the whole day.
In first place, a statement from the top, battled his way through the qualifiers, traveled from far, far away, insane run. Let's bring him up. Robert Roode!
Robert Roode, the winner of the ski men's field, is an up-and-coming star in the park scene, but he proved his versatility in this competition, throwing the only switch dub of the whole day, as well as perfectly executed left and right cork sevens. This was one of my favorite runs to watch. Indy Boyer had my favorite run in the ski women's field on finals day. She had a perfect balance of flow and speed, executing a right 3, an amazing double backflip, a front flip, a backflip, and finishing things off with a textbook left flat 3, finessing and bouncing into the finish line. And of course, here's my run. I was one of the last competitors of the day to drop, and I was nervous in the start gate. However, as soon as I dropped in, the flow state completely took over and left me with a sense of peace coming into the first feature. I decided to do a nose butter 7, and it came around so well. It was probably the best one I've ever done. I felt like I never left the ground. My next hit was kind of a setup trick, a Superman front flip. Safely landed, I punched the gas into the dyno gap, the biggest feature on the course, and where I decided to do my biggest trick, a cork 7. I honestly surprised myself a little bit, stomping the landing this well, and it was all I could do to hang on to a backflip on the last jump and coast into the landing. Safe to say, this is the best competition run I've ever had. While my run wasn't enough to make the podium in the athlete judging, I was so stoked to find out that Indy Boyer and I won the Free Skiers People's Choice Award. This was an online voting competition that you all voted for to help make me the winner, and I'm so grateful. Thank you. We did it.
Yay! We did it. It's over.
Ready? With the fear, excitement, splendor, and glory of the Silver Belt Finals finally in the rear view, Finn and I woke up the next morning and decided to do what we do best: chase each other around the mountain with a GoPro.
it almost always gets wind affected. Right. But
after organizing and hosting a whole competition, Xander somehow found the energy to get back up to the hill for a couple laps with Finn and I to show us around some of his favorite lines at Sugar Bowl. With only a few hours of daylight left to spare, we caught the last chairlift up Sugar Bowl for a backcountry foray known to locals as Lake Run. A regional classic, Lake Run involves a boot pack up above the top of Sugar Bowl, followed by a run all the way down Donner Pass on one of the most scenic and thrilling backcountry adventures I've ever been on.
Wow.
not too shabby, eh?
Yeah, this is a sick one.
Oh, this is sick. Just use my tube.
Like, loved to see like Ross rolled up like with Kelly. And it was like, hey, like, should I take Kelly and he stay with you guys? Like, here we go. It's gonna be the weirdest thing to enter.
Yeah.
Yeah, ready? All right.
Drop!
What? Just keep it rolling?
Yep.
Insane.
The glasses.
While the Silver Belt Finals was one of the highlights of my season, I have to admit that the Lake Run was the highlight of my trip. There's something extra special about going out with all of your friends and skiing into the sunset with no pressure, no objectives, just having a great time gliding on Earth.
What do we just do?
Just eat from the top of Sugar Bowl on Judah down to this parking lot and Lake Donner's right there. And it was probably the highlight of the trip. Yeah, it's pretty special.
Well, that's it. This was one of the best experiences that I've ever had on skis, and definitely the highlight of my 2025 winter season. Combining creativity, camaraderie, collaboration, and jaw-dropping action freeride skiing, I posit that the Silver Belt is the coolest competition in skiing right now. I hope that this competition has a chance to grow and flourish over the coming years, because it is truly something that our sport needs. I really hope that this video did some justice to capturing the electric spirit of this competition. I hope to see you all there next year. Thank you so much for watching. And one last thing, this was my first ski season making YouTube videos, and I just want to thank everybody who's come with me on this journey. It's been a little bit of a bumpy start, but I have really big plans in this space, so if you haven't already subscribed, I would really be grateful if you took the time to keep checking in. We're going to go all the way with this. Thank you again.
It's really cool looking up at those cliffs and being like, oh, we jumped off those.